When you're looking at your phone and you're doing all of these things, you're inundated with all of these messages, right? You have signs, signs, the bus coming by and it'll say St. Anthony on the bus. You look at your phone, it's Instagram, you see the news, you see all of these things just talking to you. Everybody's making demands on you, right? All of these things. So you're going to have to clear all of those voices and find out, why do I do certain things? A lot of times we are mad at the person that we're talking to or in a relationship with or want to be in a relationship with, or they like me, they don't like me. Let's get close. Let's not get close. Why are they acting like this? Why they didn't show up to my event? Why this and that, right? But a lot of times we take things personal because of the voices in our head. If you are mad at the person that you're trying to talk to because they didn't text you back, right? Well, maybe they didn't text you back because maybe you're mad because somebody didn't respond to you in your childhood, right? Maybe you reached out to a parent or a friend or a sister or brother and they did not give you what you needed. So now here you are in college years later and you mad at this person for something that they might have been working the whole time. Their phone might be off, It might have fell in the water. You don't even know. So like when people try to tell me off for like not texting them back, I'm like a text back in the head person. So a lot of times I read it and I just like completely respond in my head and forget that I didn't text back, right? People mad at me, he think he this, he did that. What? Like I didn't even, I'm sorry. I didn't even, I thought I texted you back. But we take things so personal because of what we're going through. So a lot of times I'm like, before I ever try to get at somebody for something like that, I'm like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Anybody ever heard check on your strong friend? Right? Are you okay? Right? Did you die? Right? Like, if you're going hard on somebody and they dead, you're going to feel real bad. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality. Imagine blowing somebody's phone up and then being mad at them and going off on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and because you're mad at them. Y'all laughing about, yeah, I know about all that, right? I ain't that old now. Y'all don't know about TikTok? Man, y'all gotta get with it. That's the hot thing right now. But first, I want to leave y'all with 3 things, right? I wrote them down on my phone. So if y'all write things and take notes and stuff like that, which you should because you're in college, on how to love yourself, right? First thing, take this to the heart, y'all. Work on your character more than your accomplishments, all right? Work on your character more than your accomplishments. God is more concerned with who you become internally than your resume, right? Yeah, y'all can clap for that because that's for real. I have the things on resume. I've had stories on TV. I've been on TV, reporter multiple times. I have an Ivy League master's from Columbia University in New York. I'm an entrepreneur around. I've done a lot of cool things on paper that the world would consider like awesome, right? But that's nothing, right? That doesn't make me who I am. Who I am is the time I'm spending with God, is the purge that I had to do internally to get rid of the things, the secrets or the ugliness or get vulnerable or not be afraid to tell my male friends I love you, because of, toxic masculinity and stuff like that, right? So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those, my dad died when I was a baby. So I didn't realize that I was carrying daddy issues into even my friendships, trying to be tough and all of that. And you end up projecting things that you went through on other people and not even realizing it. So work on your character more than your accomplishments. That's so crucial. That's so crucial. Your resume changes. Like, you're going to make money, you're going to lose money. Some of y'all going to graduate in 4 years. Some of y'all 3 years. Some of y'all never. Some of y'all 10 years. That's just the reality. Like, I thought we was real in here. That's the reality. That's the reality. I mean, some people will have 4.0s. Some people will have 1.0s, right? That's just life. So understand that doesn't make you who you are. That's not, whatever it is, that's not your final, right? So work on that character first, and then, build that resume, work hard, do all of that, but work hard on that inside. 2, nourish your spirit and nourish your body. All right? Feed your spirit. Your spirit needs food. All right? If you want to know God, you want to learn God, there's a scripture that says, seek me with your whole heart and you will find me. Right? So we always talk, and that's in Jeremiah, in the same chapter that says, for I have plans for you. Everybody knows that. I got plans for you. Plans for, but yes, he does have plans for us. But we need to seek him so that he can actually work through us. Because if we seek God, God is perfect. God is love. God is clean. So if we're impure, God don't bless mess. If we're impure in our hearts, then he got to get that stuff out, which is very doable through repentance. We have to get that stuff out, and then God could come in, and then we could actually be the vessel that we want to be for God to work through us. But first, we got to nourish that soul, got to nourish that body, got to nourish that mind. Exercise, not because you're trying to look good for the springtime, even though it's coming. Y'all might want to get on it because we can't hide in hoodies too much longer. You know what I'm saying? But nourish your body, but exercise for your health, for your mind. Because that really, your physical health impacts your mental health. For one, you look good, you feel good, you see that, you hear that, right? But when you know that you are actively being intentional about strengthening your body and taking care of yourself, then everything else is going to follow, right? Last thing for y'all, and we get to the questions, identify the voices in your mind. We talked about the voices, right? So identify who these voices are, where these voices are. Y'all are in college. You have resources here. You have mental health services. There are counseling services. Y'all take advantage of that stuff. I know that's a big thing right now. It's popular, but it's very, be intentional with your mental health. Know who you are. Know why you do what you do. And know yourself, love yourself. I'm going to repeat those 3 things, and then we can open up for questions. How to love yourself. 1, work on your character more than your accomplishments. Y'all got that down? 2, nourish your spirit, nourish your body. Cool? 3, identify the voices in your mind. Thank y'all. Much love.
All right. So, does anybody have any questions off of the top of their head for Mr. Bailey? I have one over there.
What's going on?
And I have some questions. Can you just stand up and speak loud for me?
You went to convocation when you came here?
I did in the chapel.
Do you feel like it benefited you?
Oh, man. She came right out with it. I think that's a Dillard people question. I ain't got nothing to do with that, right? So, disclaimer, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Did it benefit me? Yeah, it did. I ain't lying, I'm for real. Dang, y'all really don't like convocation. Y'all didn't rehearse it, man. Nah, it benefited me because it gathers, it's a guarantee. Anytime there's like a guarantee you all gonna meet, like y'all have different majors and stuff like that, different classes, live in different dorms and stuff like that, and everybody don't go to the Kearney parties, y'all still got the Kearney parties? Yeah, no? Oh man, those were lit. But everybody don't do the same thing. So convocation, at least you know that there is a time every week where you meet up and you kind of have to be together. So I think it's beneficial.
All right. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is
What's up?
Silas Starks. I'm an English major.
Come on.
And I'm a writer and a poet. So
Yeah.
I have started many projects with intentions of creating a book. But I realized that when I'm actually writing it, a lot of the topics are so personal. And so how did you format your book to where, there's a start, there's a finish, and how did you get through that process?
Man, that's an excellent question. So she's a poet, English major. She says, how did I format my book? This is my poetry book called Liberation. How did I format it when it's things that are very personal to you? And for me, that really goes to those 3 points about like your mind and knowing yourself and loving yourself. Once I got to the point where I was okay with who I was, where I didn't care if I'm rejected, I didn't care how many followers I don't get, I didn't care who responds, who doesn't, because I was confident that God is saying something through this. I knew the gift that I had, so I knew that I'm doing my best to make it good, to make it relatable, understandable. So once I had those things settled in the heart, it was like, it's going to be what it is. My only thing is I need to get it out. So I think for you, make sure that You're not doing the book because you're trying to get something or take something, but you're doing the book because you're supposed to. Like, you're doing the book because it's an assignment. Like, you have assignments like, I got to do this essay, I got to do this. You're doing this book because you have to. And when you get to that point, then yeah, it's going to be personal now. It's hard to release that because it's like you sharing yourself, you know. There's a line in the book I say, now I'm naked in drawers, trying to hide my flaws like a thief in the night, dirty, staining the cloth. Unravel, ruined linen with runs in it. Biggie is getting small. I'm ready to die to myself. I'm humble now. And that's what that means. Yeah, I got bars. But no, honestly, that's what that means because you feel naked when you release something like that. You know, you feel like you exposed and you did it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you got it. I can see it on you. You gonna kill it. Yeah. Who next?
Okay. My name is Yavian King, and so my question for you is, how do you balance your social mask and your authentic self, like outside, like on campus?
You say your social mask?
Yeah, like you know, like for example, certain people, like okay, personally, I'm just gonna speak for myself. Personally, I'm a very blunt person, but when I talk to certain people, I know that sometimes I have to hold that back to a certain extent. But how do you carry yourself in a way that you have certain restrictions, but you're still authentic? Like, what's some advice that you give?
That's a good question. How do you carry yourself? How do you remain authentic and still kind of be social or kind of have your social life in a balance? So for me, it's really, I mean, what you get with me is what you see is what you get. You know, like me talking to y'all right now. This is how I am in my house. This is how I am with my wife. This is how I am on a date. This is how I am anywhere. And it's going to be like that. This is how I am in a church. I'm not out here like living double lives and all that kind of stuff, right? So I am who I am, you know. When it comes to the social life, I think the real struggle is if we're trying to balance two people. Now, there was a time in my life when I was multiple people. Even when I was at Dillard, there was a time when I was different people. I was somebody in Houston. I was somebody at Dillard. I was somebody in New Orleans. I was somebody in Alpha. I was somebody in all of these little things that I was involved in. But when you like get to that wholeness, that inside, you become like the same person in all of that. But it's a process, right? You're only y'all 18, 19, right? 19, 17, whatever. It takes time to like kind of go through that. But I think being comfortable with who you are and putting forth effort. And also, the Bible says, outdo one another with honor. So, you know, honor people. You could be blunt. Like, I'm real. I'll say the truth to people. I'll say things that people might not agree with, or I'm not scared to be the one to say something that's out of the ordinary. But at the same time, we got to honor people, right? Like, you know, I don't know what somebody's going through. So, like, let me not assume and just, like, go cuss this person out just because I'm mad, right? Let me check it. But if something needs to be said, say it. But I always think about how can I honor somebody, and also socially, I also understand because of where I am spiritually, I understand that I'm a leader. I understand that there are a lot of people who look up to me. There are a lot of people who listen to me, who are influenced by me. So there is a certain way I have to carry myself, and I'm aware of that. At the same time, I try to make sure that same effort being put forth is when nobody sees it too. When behind closed doors, making sure I'm putting that same effort. Check you out. I like your glasses.
Thank you.
I was not as fly as you when I was Mr. Freshman.
But I just want to.
I'm serious.
So I just want to ask, what was your favorite part about being on court at Dillard, and your least favorite part about it? And when people think of you as Mr. Dillard, what do you want people to remember you by?
Man, that's a great question. Man, you just brought me back to 09, man. Dang, y'all made me feel. Oh, wow.
What was the pros and cons about being on court? And then what are you remembered by? And I actually wanted to ask you that question too about legacy, because you left stuff at Dillard.
Yeah.
You didn't just get a degree and leave. Like you left part of you here, so you're the reason why we do Boss Up Mondays. You know, so this is the reason why everybody dresses up on Mondays, because they're Friday. So that's been a tradition when you graduate.
2013.
So in 13, so that's been a tradition that's been standing 6 years after he's gone.
That's amazing. Yeah, man. So my most enjoyable thing about the court was when I was a freshman, I heard about Mr. So even my whole becoming Mr. Freshman, I was like in Kearney and they were doing nominations. Mind you, in high school, I didn't have good grades. I didn't like really do nothing. I wasn't on student government and none of that. And somebody was like, hey, there's a thing called freshman, fresh person, class gentleman. Do you want to do it? But the dude was telling me that because he wanted to run for president. So he thought if I ran against him for president, then he would lose. So he tried to get me to be the gentleman because he knew I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, oh, fresh person, yeah. You know, I was 17, excited to be in New Orleans in college, right? I still ducking every day, right? So I said, yeah, I want to do that. Got on it, and then there was Miss Dillard. Her name was Carmelita Foster. And she was like so cold. When I say she had great grades, she did, community service like every week. Like, she was just a boss. Like, she was killing it. So being under her and understanding what this was, we started doing community service. I started leading the community service and all of that. And I started really caring about Dillard. Like, it was like darn near like a full-time job, like, you know. And I enjoyed that. And then I just always said, I learned that Mr. Dillard was the escort. So at the time, the only role of Mr. Dillard wasn't a big thing like it is now. That was when it comes back to that legacy question. I wanted my legacy to be, I wanted Mr. Dillard to be something. I wanted Mr. Dillard to be something that guys wanted to be, that people respected, that actually had like how you dress right now. This is my legacy. This is what I wanted. Because when I was here, that was not the case, right? My wife was really, when she was Miss Dillard, she wanted to bring the queenness back to Miss Dillard. Before her, it was like, okay, it's a service thing, but it's like, okay, we know that you're doing service, but it's a queen. You're Miss Dillard. We would go to conferences, we'll meet the Miss Howard, the Miss this, Miss Spellman, all of these people, and it was this elegance. So my wife was like, we're gonna bring that here, and she brought it here. And for me, I wanted the Mr. Dillard to not just be an escort. Like, you know, it's already, you know, we were outnumbered with guys at this on this campus. It wasn't that many guys compared to girls. Two, ladies were always talking about how they didn't have no choices and the man ain't, you know, just going hard on brothers, like, pipe down, you know. But I wanted the guys to have somebody to look to. I wanted the guys to have a role model, and I wanted the guy, and it had happened. So I said that freshman year, I said, when I was in your shoes, I said, man, I'm gonna be Mr. Dillard, and I'm gonna make it something that's like really like strong. Like, I'm gonna make it something that people want. And then years later, I remember I made the little Mr. Dillard music video. I had that thing shot, recorded, ready February. As soon as they gave us the go that you could promote, everybody had it. Everybody, I was trying to get the song stuck in people's heads. Want to know why everybody called me Mr. DU? Mr. DU, Mr. DU. I can do what the mother something can't do. But I made a whole little song. People was remembering it. They was sharing it. I had a line brother who all the girls liked him. So I was like, look, since all the girls like you, I need you to go to all of them and tell them to vote for me. So we would go by one. He'd be like, hey, girl, you know, vote for my LB. And she'd be like, okay, girl. And I'm like, shoot, got that vote, next. Meanwhile, my wife had a warehouse going on in the apartment. I'm like, man, I was in like Evangeline or something. She was in the gardens. I mean, she had a warehouse, like she did like a post office kind of situation. So she had like a FedEx, like everything was like FedEx themed, like everybody's door had like FedEx boxes and stuff. I'm like, man, like that's tight, you know. I'm just gonna stick with the music video and you know, and the guerrilla marketing, basically going up to everybody like, and I didn't just go up to everybody like vote for me. I was just like, look, this is what I do, this is what I'm about. If you want to vote for me, here it is. This the date, this the time, this the machine. Just be there, right? But yeah.
Your least favorite part?
Least favorite part. Ooh. Least favorite part was, at that time, it was a lack of respect. We had to earn the respect. We didn't get any benefits. Other campuses, they had stipends. They had like free housing. They just got a lot. Like they Royal Court, like, I mean, they got a lot. And one thing that was happening to me was, me and my wife and us on the court, was we would take initiative and do stuff, and then the campus would take credit for it, and then we weren't getting the benefits behind the closed doors. So we weren't getting no housing, we weren't getting no stipends, we weren't doing this, but we literally are out here reaching out to other kings, queens. We out here are putting forth our own initiatives, like the wear a suit on the first day of school. That was my idea that I thought of, just did it. We were doing stuff like that, and then in return, the campus gets to shine for it, but we weren't getting nothing for it. It's just like, oh, let me take credit for what y'all did. No, I did that, like, it, you know. And I didn't like that, but you know, over time we earned some more respect and got some more. I don't know what y'all have now, but it was very much a fight. So that was my least favorite part.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we've drawn some end of conversation. I appreciate you all. This is, again, we want to bring alumni back here, so they love to engage with us. So let's give them another round of applause.